Okay, and the last point, the last problem related, as we said, to this part of chapter 4 is this one. The question is to determine what are the coordinate direction angles alpha, beta, and gamma of F, which is applied to the end of the pipe, so that the moment of F about O is 0. Here, to answer this, okay, we have two ways, one very complex and one very simple. We know that the condition for a force to create a moment about a point equal to 0 is that the force should pass by the point. If we use this concept, we simplify a lot the solution. So all we have to say is that force F should pass by O in order to create a moment about it equal to 0. Okay? So we just need to understand the concept of moment of a force about a point. The force should pass by O. So what should be the unit vector of the force? Since it's passing by O and it's passing by this point here, we call it A, let's say, then the unit vector of F should be OA. Okay. And now, all you have to do in this problem is to find the coordinate of unit vector of OA. You have O is the origin. For point A, you have in X plus 6. In Y, it's 8 plus 6, 14. And in Z, 10. So for OA vector, it's plus 6 in I. Plus 14 in J. And plus 10 in K. Over radical of 6 square plus 14 square plus 10 square. Okay. And now, how to get, what are the direction angles then? How you get alpha? If I give you the unit vector of a line, how you can get the angles of this line with x, y, z? What do you do?
We can find the vector f, and then we can do cosine inverse of f of x over f.
Okay, no need to find vector f, because already you have the unit vector, so you can say alpha is cosine minus 1 of UOA in x. Okay, no need even to get vector f. Or if you want, or you have then to do the second approach is to say that alpha also is cosine minus 1 fx over f. يعني بس ما already you have fx over f, it's the unit vector. Why you want to do يعني additional step? So since you have already unit vector in x, no need to find fx and then divide by the magnitude. Okay? Now for beta.
Professor, I have a question.
No?
I have a question. How is F along OA?
Okay. They said the moment of F should be 0 about O. For a force to have a moment 0 about a point, what is the condition?
Perpendicular?
No, it should pass by the point. If I tell you you have a point O, and then I tell you the force should do a moment about O0. The only case where a force about a point will do a moment of 0 is when the force will pass by the point. So actually, you don't have one possible solution here. You have two possible solutions. Or your force is directed from A to O to pass by O, or your force is directed in the opposite direction, but also it's passing by O. So it can have or unit vector OA, but we have another solution. It can be also unit vector of AO. But once you find alpha here, this is alpha 1. What is second possible solution? Because they are opposite, and the angle between OA and AO is 180. So if you get alpha 1 value, alpha 2 will be, the other possibility is alpha 1 plus 180. Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Now the same for beta and gamma. For beta, it's equal. So you have two solutions, beta 1, beta 2, which is cosine minus 1 of unit vector of OA and Y. What is the component in Y? It's 14 over the radical. So it's cosine minus 1, 14 over the radical, okay? And plus 180, and we have two possibilities, or this angle or the angle plus 180, okay? And finally, gamma is cosine minus 1 of z component, which is 10 over, so this is z component of the unit vector, 10 over the radical. And this is the first solution, gamma 1. Gamma 2, okay, you add to this plus 180. Okay. If you didn't pay attention for this simple concept, the solution will be really much more difficult. What should you do then? You should write the condition in OA vectorial F should be equal to 0. Okay. And then you need to expand and identify I component, J component, K component. You'll get exactly at the end same, you get the same result when you do the analysis. Okay, but it is much longer. So pay attention to go to the straight method, to the easiest method. Okay. Question on this? Okay, so that's it. If you have any question on chapter 2 review problems, chapter 4 or 4 review problems, you can ask them now. And please, for next time, go over the new videos I'm assigning for you. We need to proceed. We hope that the university will open next week, but if not, we need to proceed. Okay, so we cannot stop here. We need to continue with new material. Any question before we start?
Doctor,
Yes.
I just have one question about the previous exercise,
Which
about the
one?
couple moment.
Yes, tell me.
The previous one.
Okay.
They asked us إنه the resultant couple moment of the two couples قصدهم يعني ال F1 هي يا minus 50 يا 50.
لا، قصدهم انت في two couples هون. One created by these two forces. يعني you have these two forces together will create one couple. One moment vector. M1. Okay? And these two will create another vector, M2.
Yes.
You need to add them. So the resultant couple, M
إيه
result
بس okay.
is M1 plus M2. Okay? هلا نحن we calculated
M1 هي ال
M1
minus
we
50 وال
calculated M1
35.
by two methods. بس خلينا نعمل M2 كمان. We calculated M1 by three methods قلنا. Or we do AB vectorial plus 35, or BA vectorial minus 35, or we use the right-hand rule and we say it's along minus I, and the magnitude is 35 times d cosine 30. Now, what about What about the second couple? For the second couple, it's not parallel to a simple plane. So it's not easy to do method of, we cannot do here right-hand rule. It will be more complex, okay? So we stick to the easiest way. The easiest way is to start from the first force, okay? And to go to any point of the second. Yani you can take or AB or AC, both are right. But what is easier is AB vector because you already calculated its component. You can take, so for M2, or you say I can take AB vectorial minus 50i. This is an option. Or also you can say I can take, instead of AB, I go from A to C, because also C is on the line of the second force. So I can do AC vectorial minus 50i. And of course, I can move in the opposite way. So if I started, for example, from C, then I go from C to A, okay? Also, if you want, this force is passing by the origin O. Yani instead of, for example, CA, you can take also CO vectorial 50. You have several possibilities. You have a lot of possibilities here. But try to select the easiest vector. Okay? So you can do
thank you.
also here CA vectorial 50 or CO vectorial 50. Okay? Now, another method, but much more complex. And I advise you, when the couple is not simple, it's not parallel to a certain known plane, it's easier to do vectorial. But this doesn't mean that it's the only method. You can say the following. You can say, when I want to get the moment of a couple, which is here couple M2, it's equivalent, okay, to select any point in space. And for example, if I consider, we said that the moment of a couple is independent of the point. You can say I can consider point O, which is the origin of this frame, and say that couple M2 is equivalent to the moment of the plus 50 Newton force, okay, about O, plus the moment of the minus 50 Newton force about O. This is also an option, okay? Why moment of 50 is easy? What is the moment of 50 about O?
0.
0, because this force is passing by O. So I just have then, this will cancel out. I just have then to find the moment of this force about O, okay? And if I want to do it, this force is parallel to X. Can it do a moment about X?
No.
No. If I want to find the moment about Y, I can use the right-hand rule. What is the distance? This is Y-axis, okay? What is the distance to Y-axis? It's D sine 30. And if I do the right-hand rule with my hand, it's negative or positive along Y, the moment. Do you do with your hand this? Your thumb will point in negative direction. Negative. So you have minus 50 times D sine 30 along J. And finally, for the moment about Z, what is the distance? It's the perpendicular to Z and to the force. It's D cosine 30, okay? And also, if you do with your hand, the right-hand rule, you will do this, your thumb will point downward. So it's also negative along Z. So minus 50. Of course, the right-hand rule is a little bit more challenging. So if you prefer to not think about it, do the cross product. If you do the cross product, you will get exactly the same result. اوكي
دكتور
يس
دكتور
يس
في شيء ما فهمته انا، كيف اذا عندنا كابل مومنت كيف عم نعمل نحن مومنت about a whole pipe assembly؟ ما لنا straight line هيدي.
انت you get وشو خاص انت if you have two couples acting on a system شو مش ضروري يكون straight line. any rigid body اذا بقول لك find the resultant moment on the body what do مش you add the couples you add the two moments. انت مش عندك
يعني بناخذ كل فورس وبنعمل لها لحالها مومنت.
بتاخد كل كابل وبتعمل له المومنت. هلا انت فيك كمان فيك الكابل تقسمه لتو فورسز، يعني تقول انه هيدا الكابل هو is created by two forces. So to get its the couple فيني نلاقي المومنت about any point. ما نحن ثبتنا انه any point in space فينا ناخد، يعني فيك تعمل moment of plus f about o تزيد عليها المومنت of minus f about o بيطلع لك المومنت of the couple. وفيك كمان لانه انت عارف انه it's independent of the point فيك تقول I use the general method اللي ثبتناها بالصف. I take one point of the first force and I go towards the second point. وصلت على تاني force فبعمل AB vectorial plus 35k. هيدا بيعطيني المومنت of the first couple، بس هن بدهم resultant moment، يعني I should add to it the moment created by the second couple here. Okay? Other question؟
دكتور ما كتير فهمت كيف عملنا التانية.
ال 50 you mean؟ أي واحدة؟
Yes.
Okay. أنت to get the moment of couple plus 50i و minus 50i شو التكنيكس اللي عندك إياهم؟ First technique you say I start from one force، يعني مثلا this force is passing by A صح؟ I go towards a point of the other force. When a line of action of the other force هون this line is passing by B and C، يعني أو I can do AB vectorial minus 50i or AC vectorial minus 50i صح؟ هيدي واضحة؟
Yes.
اوكي كان في كمان بدل A تاخد كمان O because O also is a point on your force. ففيك تبلش من O تعمل OB أو OC vectorial minus 50. اوكي or also second possibility فيك تبلش من minus من هالفورس وتروح على الثاني. So you can do CA vectorial 50 or BA vectorial 50i كلهم بيعطوك نفس الجواب. هلا if you don't want to use vectorial product you want to use another method. نحن بنعرف انه الكابل moment is a free vector. شو يعني free vector؟ يعني انا هول التو forces they create a total couple. اذا بجيب المومنت تبعهم about any point in space بيطلع نفس الشيء. يعني if I do their moment about O or if I do their moment about B or about A or about C I get exactly the same result. Okay? Another way to calculate the moment of this couple is to say the moment of this couple is equal مش هو في two forces opposite minus 50 وال 50 you can select any point in space and say that the moment of this couple is the moment of the force of plus 50 about this point. أين نحن لأنه it's easy. okay يعني كان فيك تاخد إذا بدك A مثلا فيك تاخد point A. if you select point A this force is passing by A it cannot do a moment about it. يعني بس كأنه هلأ بدك تجيب المومنت of minus 50i about A. نحن نقينا O المومنت of plus 50 about O is 0 لأنه the force is passing by O. بضل بس to compute the moment of the force of minus 50i about O. okay هلا كيف فيك تجيب المومنت انت of a force about a point or you do OC vectorial minus 50i يعني بعدنا بالدوت بالvectorial product or you say because this force is really simple it's parallel to x-axis خلينا نستعمل right hand rule. First إذا باخد x-axis passing by O this force is parallel to it it cannot produce a moment about it. خلصنا من moment about x-axis يعني no component along I for the moment about O. تاني axis who is this one y-axis. okay انت هيدي الفورس إذا بتطولها if you take its line of action what is the distance if I want to draw the distance in red the distance is the perpendicular from this axis to this line so this is the distance you should multiply by which is equal to this one. What is this distance? D sine 30 okay يعني انت if you do D sine 30 times 50 you get the moment created about y-axis بضل بدك تعرف إذا plus or minus if you do the right hand rule with your hand يعني you curl your fingers of the four fingers of your hand in this direction your thumb will point in negative y so it's creating a negative moment about y okay now if you want to get the moment about z come in إذا أنا I extend this line should perpendicular from this line to z axis is this distance. This distance is the perpendicular. It's equivalent to this one, which is d cosine 30. Okay. And again, if I curl my right hand, my thumb will point downward. So it's along negative z. Okay. Yani your four fingers will be like this. And when you do the right hand rule, your thumb will point down. Any other question? Okay, guys. So please watch the videos I asked you. We need to proceed. Okay, we need to cover the remaining part of chapter 4. If you didn't watch them, do it. If you already watched the videos I asked you about, you can start to do the remaining review problems to tackle your questions. Okay? Yalla, see you. Hopefully see you on campus next time. Bye-bye.